Welcome back to the channel, and today on the Easy Woodworking project I have a hanging basket stand here, and I'm going to show you guys how to make it. Okay, if you would like, you can cut this. I cut this on a miter saw, but you don't have to. You can use a regular hand circular saw and then cut your board. But let me just remove a couple of these. Gonna need the front piece here, the back piece, and this will be the two sides here. Okay, what do we have here is the two sides. These are the two sides, the 2x4s, and they are 34 inches long. And then we have the back here, it's 21 inches long. This is the one that's going to be down on the bottom, down below. And then we also have the place where you're going to put your sign if you want to draw a sign or use stencils or paint it or whatever. This is the 2x8, 21 inches long. So it's going to go up here. Now, if you have clamps, it's great. If you have a set of clamps to help you hold this, you can use screws or you can use nails. If you don't have screws, that's fine. Nails work just the same. But I'm going to go ahead and put a couple clamps on it that help me hold it. These lined up. Let me get a little hammer here. Now, if you get it cut pretty square, if your tools are on pretty good there, it's not too bad. And then if you get these straight, now I did sand all this, all the boards, so I don't have to sand it again. If I want to stain it, it's going to look nice. So, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take 3-inch screws. That's what I've been using. I got 3-inch and I got 2-inch. The 3 inches are going to be up here. We're going to screw into these sides here. And then I got to put some 3 inches down here at the bottom too. But I'm going to do is I'm going to countersink them. I mean, you don't have to countersink if you don't, but I like it because it just makes it look a little bit better. And I'm also just guessing where I want the screws at. So you can measure it out, take a ruler and be a little bit more precise, I guess. Set this over here. Just take no time at all to put these together, and they're a lot of fun. I have a couple of them done. Okay, let me get this. Ready to check that front. You have to make sure That's your front piece here. I wasn't paying much attention to it, but make sure it's kind of flat across here, because it, you know, when you, well, I laid on my table, it's not, you know, it's not exactly, I mean, you don't have to be perfect about it. If it's off a little bit, it's going to be okay. Just try to get it as flush as you can right across here. You got one more here. Okay, set this up here, and I'll go ahead and take these clamps back off. Just set them down here somewhere. Okay, here we go. Now this is your stand part. Of course, like I said, you're going to write your letters on here. We got 2 more pieces, and that's it. And this thing's going to be finished. You got one for the top, one for the bottom. But we're going to take it to another little table, just a little bit lower, because the table saw here is just kind of high for me to work on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put on the bottom board first. Now, the only way I figured out to do the bottom board, it was just measure it out, find the center. You know, find the center of your board, and then just go from there. I was doing it like this. It was like 1.25 inches. It was 2 inches over here. Basically around 2. Actually, that's 1 7/8. About 1 7/8 inches. And then another 1 7/8 inches. Just measure it all the way around 1 7/8 inches. Okay, and then you can measure from this side here. I have 2.5 on this side. I go away, say probably 2 inches. Should be about 2 inches, and then just 1 7/8 inches. But it's always good to put. Let me see what I do with my pencil here. Probably put a little mark. It wouldn't hurt to put a little mark right here if I'm going to measure it. That way I can hold it. If it comes off, I'll know. This again. Okay, that should be it. I'm getting about 1 7/8 inches on these 2 sides, or the 4 sides, and 2 inches on the front, 2 inches on the back. I mean, you can run your ruler through it to see. Just try to find the middle. Put a couple marks so you can definitely know that if it ends up moving, you know. Now, what I did is I actually turned this upside down and put the screws on the bottom end of it. And of course, I use a staple gun. Now you can put glue on this and put the screws. I've seen people put the screws straight down through the top here. I mean, if that's easier for you, then that's fine. But I could put them in. What I do is I'll just put a couple couple staples in here. Now that's going to help me hold. I keep dropping these pencils all over the place. That's going to hold it for me for a few, so I can get it turned upside down. This is what I kind of did. I just held it this way. But if you can't do it that way, you can still put the screws down in the top of it. Mine just I get the staple gun. Now I'm putting 3" down through here. These are all 3" screws. Okay, I'm going to put some 2" screws in here. I think it's just going too fast. I put it on slow. Gee whiz. Sometimes I'm drilling things and I don't pay much attention to it. Okay, now we have the bottom board done. So we're going to flip it over here. Let me move this table out of the way. I'm going to flip it over and put it on the top. Another pencil. Now, top's the same way. What you got to do is just center it up on there the best you can. Okay, and then just go from there. So you do your measurements on the sides here. So you take your ruler and just measure it. Well, let's do it this way. I don't have a lot of room down here, and I know I was doing it a little bit different before. I'm bringing this table back because I'm going to take these. I don't want those screws coming up through the top, so I'm not going to drill down in the top of it. I mean, you can if you want to. That's fine, but that's just I don't like it that way. So what I'm going to do is same thing I did before. Get my measurement here and mark it, and then I'm going to countersink screws on the sides. I'll show you here in a minute. Okay, that's really good for me. And of course, I always put a couple marks. Okay. Now, let me put a couple staples in that so I can turn that around and show you. All right, I'll turn it around here and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and just pre-drill a couple spots, maybe one here, one here, one here, you know what I'm saying, and then about maybe 4 across here, and I'll countersink them and then go ahead and put screws. I'm going to run 2-inch screws across there. Instead of put it in the front, you know, or up on top where you're going to have your screws down. I thought that'd be a little bit nicer. So let me go ahead and start. I'll start one here. Now, if you get any roughness like this, you know, it kind of tears up the wood a little bit, you can run a palm sander over it. Oh, too high. And let's put one in here. One on this side, because this is in the back. You're not going to see this unless you invite people over to look at it, you know. I guess that's what I do. Okay, now let's put some screws in that. Now I'm only using the 2-inch screws. I think you can probably, if you put them up a little bit higher, you know, and pre-drill, if you pre-drill them like that, I'm for sure you can use a longer screw. But you don't want too long. Want to make sure it's not going to go through. Let me see. I used 1 3/4 the last time, and one of them I thought they was too short. So then I decided to run the 2-inch in them. Okay. Now I have, well, you could pick these hooks up anywhere for your hanging basket. These were like, I think it was 4 for like $1. Some like maybe a dollar store or something like that. You might better pick them up. You don't have to be real heavy, but you want them heavy enough they're not going to break off. So when you buy them, just make sure they're a little tough. You know what I'm saying? And then just measure the middle where you want your basket to be. So you want to measure the middle. So we need 10.5, and then 1.5 inches. Okay. I always say it's always good to pre-drill it a little bit to make it easier to put these in. at. Okay, let me get it set up here. You can see this is it. This is the finishing thing. You just got to paint it or stain it or something like that, whatever you want to put on it. Maybe some preserver. You might like it just the way it is. Let me go ahead and give you the measurements so you'll know. I got 34 inches on the 2x4. So both sides, this side and this side, is 34 inches long. Coming across, there's a 2x4 coming across, is 21 inches long. A 2x8, that's 21 inches long. A 2x6 is 26 inches long. And a 2x8 on the bottom, 28 inches long. And then, of course, you know, just try to pick out a good hook so you know you don't lose your basket or whatever kind of weight you're gonna put on it. They're very strong. I mean, you can actually put a lot of weight on it, and like I said, you can upgrade them too. Let me put that flower on here. It doesn't take very much time at all to do these. I think it probably took me more time putting the stencil writing on, you know, and painting the stencils. And of course, to put the basket on it, you can see what it looks like. So if you want to make one, very, very simple to make, and it's like I said, it's nice to make these things and give them out. Or if you want to make a couple dollars, this is the way to do it. Then once you start doing them, they get faster and faster. Let me give you another. If anybody's interested in the color of the first one, right here it is. It's by Midwax. It's a polyurethane. It's stain in. It has a stain in it and the poly in it, and it's like a one-step thing. And I picked it up at Lowe's. And you can see it's a pecan, it's what they call it. And, you know, if you want that color, it's fine. I thought it was a pretty nice color for it. I mean, there's a lot of different colors they have out there. And then one more thing before I go is the brush. You know, I've been painting for many, many years, and a brush is so important. For any type of applications you're doing. It doesn't matter what it is, a brush is important. I know they sell brushes and some of them's cheap and some's real expensive, but the real cheap ones sometimes cost you more time and more trouble to try to make up for it, to make it look nice. Me, I always try to pick out a good brush, you know, something what I can afford. But this one here is it's an angle brush, but it's an oil and stain brush. And I picked up Lowe's. It's 2-inch. Angle brush is just for, you know, if you're going to get corners and stuff like that. That's why I got the angle brush. So you can do little touch-ups. But it does mean a lot what type of brush you pick up and use. Then if I use a cheap oil brush, then I'm using a real good oil brush. This is the one I have here if you want to look it up. Okay, it was from Lowe's. So you can choose if you like to have. Let me get that better. Yeah, I guess it's all right here. But you can choose if you like to pick up one of these or something else that you prefer. So, okay, that's it for the easy woodworking project for today. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have, please leave me some comments. And thanks for watching.